How y'all feeling about nuts this morning? Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? We all do. You know, where the hell are the eggs? I gave them to Walker. Now they're gone. I seriously have I had them this morning. I've lost them in like 45 seconds. Where did you put them? Oh, okay. Well, have someone return them and bring them to the stage if possible so I can throw them at people and get them all riled up. This is great. Lee just gave this to me. Lee, for some reason, because I'm trying to remember it, I have forgotten your last name. I've only known you since 2002. Where are you? Romanoff, thank you. Lee Romanoff, a badass marketer, by the way, representing the women quite well, I might add. This is hilarious. All right, where's my little... It is to me, anyway. Often, things that are funny to me, other people are confused about. Oh, look, they're the eggs. Does this work? Let's see. Is it right? A whole word? Boobs. Yes. Okay. Great. All right. So this is something called how your domain name appears. So if you wanted to look and find out who represents a celebrity, you could go to a website called whorepresents.com, and it's spelled like this. Who represents. No shit. Okay. Here's another good one. There's an Italian power company, and they sell power generators. And their website is, I think Italia is like how you say Italy in Italian. Apparently, I'm fluent. I know cazzo means hello, if said very emphatically. So if you ever meet an Italian person, you say, cazzo, cazzo, cazzo. Or, okay, I think like, how are you today? It's like, che cazzo fai, like that. That's so there's something for you. If you ever go there, say that to as many people as you can talk to. I'm bullshitting? That's totally what it means. What does it mean then? Wait a minute. Che cazzo? Are you trying to say cazzo means pants? Okay, so maybe it doesn't mean that. I don't know. The only way to know is to try. So I'm just saying. So anyway, their website. We got a better marker. I think I've blowed them all up. We'll try the red one here. Let's see here. Okay, and then Power Gen, Italia. That's no shit. Power Genitalia. Hey. And there's a church. There's a church out there called First Coming Methodist Church. And their website is comingfirst.com. I'm fucking serious, man. And then there's a design company, and they're called Speed of Art. And Speed of Art. So there you go. I mean, if only we could have thought of that, Holy crap. Speedo fart. Can anyone play punk music? That would be a great punk band, I think. Ladies and gentlemen, Speedo fart. Oh my God. All right. Let's see. So that's all I got. You guys can just go. We're all done. All righty. So now let us get to work. In my notes here, I have that I'm going to be doing this at 6 o'clock yesterday. So this is the time machine. Did y'all have a good day yesterday? Good time? I did too. That was fun. Thank you, and thank you for sticking around so late. That was awesome, especially on a Friday night. Especially when John Carlton agreed to buy drinks all night long for every single man over 40 who gives him a big hug. I don't know what it is about him, but he's a snuggler, isn't he? He's just like a little buddy. So try it. You will like it. All right, so last night we were talking about a plan, all right? Or yesterday or at some point. We were talking about the evil scheme, to generate. What do we have to make for you? 18.7 thousand, not $1 million a day. Thank God. It's 55 grand a day. I was like, man, I don't know anyone who's going to want to go through all that crap. But the 18 grand a day is not a big deal at all. So, and we determined it's a matter of market price, traffic, conversion, product, and so forth. Yep. And then we kind of concluded that 10 sales at $2,000, all you got to have is 1,000 people, thanks to Greg's, wherever he may be, superior math skills, show off. And that's cool and everything, but I think we can all agree that it's not like really the magic, all you got to do is get, 1,000 people to your website a day and you're going to make $20,000 a day. I mean, it's possible. I don't want to be an asshole, but I think that's the incomplete picture. So here is the final piece of all that stuff we were talking about yesterday, and that is attracting and doing business with the right customers, you see. Just because they have the money and they can buy your stuff does not mean that they're the right people for you to be selling to, all right? And just because you have the skills to attract them doesn't mean that you should. Carlton, just because that woman was very attractive and you had the magic ability to pick her up, who ended up getting the rabbit boiled in the morning? You did, buddy, right? So just because you can doesn't mean you should. Well, I mean, it wasn't his rabbit. She stole it from the neighbor's kid, and that's what makes it even more insidious. And he filmed it, and it's like one of the most highly viewed videos on YouTube, which is wrong. John, what the hell is going on? I mean, you put an egg in a man's ass and he goes crazy, I don't know. Just because we coated it with a combination of narcotics and amphetamines prior to insertion shouldn't have, that is not right. I shouldn't even be talking like that on a Sunday morning, Saturday morning, whatever. What is it with you people? Good Lord. I think I'm going to go home. This is crazy. Okay, so... Yeah, so we're talking about long-term success, you know what I mean? To really generate the machine. Because what happens if you attract the wrong customers, and there's not really bad customers. I'm not saying like you don't want to attract a bunch of dickheads or whatever. I'm just saying like if the customer that you're attracting is not a match to who you are and what you want to be, then it's going to suck. And you're going to have struggle in your business. And you're not going to be floating downstream. You're going to be like paddling and stuff. And you can't do that all day, every day. I mean, you give out of energy. Right? So our typical approach to selling things online has been brute force up until we started studying things like mass control and product launch formula and everything. It was almost like, buy this fucking shit now. I mean, it's just, if you don't buy this today, you're going to die kind of marketing, right? And that works. And that's the kind of marketing that will get you 1 out of 100 or 200 or 300 people to your visitors. I mean, if you smack someone around enough, eventually someone will buy some shit, right? But I think you can get a much higher conversion. I think you can get like, 10 to 20% conversion, but it's got to be the right traffic, see? And I know it's like, oh, really? No shit. I'm not talking about just the right keywords. I'm talking about getting your message in front of exactly the right person. So if we were converting for you, where'd you go, Officer Spadenko? Where are you? There you go. It's just without the hat. I'm like, wait a minute. Could you put the mustache back on, sir? Did everyone get, how many mustaches did y'all get? Like 3 each or something? Because you can't have too many, You cannot have too many fake mustaches. What's funny is Trey and I were in Atlanta one time, and this is like like 2003 or something, just messing around. I used to live in Georgia, and we drove up to Atlanta because that's all there was to do. There's nothing to do in Macon besides go to the Barnes & Noble, so we decided to go to the Atlanta Barnes & Noble, see what that was like. Like, I hear they have Frappuccino, So we go up there and we each buy aviator sunglasses, and for some reason, took great delight and could barely finish the sentence in asking the girl if she knew where they had a fake mustache and police hat store. And now here it is, years later. I've just hung out with all of y'all wearing fake mustaches and police hats. It's pretty funny. But don't you think it would be easier, there you go, to hit that goal if we could like convert 10 to 20% of the people that are coming to your site, and the answer, of course, is yes. So that's a baited question there. Really? Yeah, I know. Wow. Isn't that something? Look at there. So the way to do it, you can achieve that kind of conversion. It's possible, just like the 4-minute mile was possible, through superior, ultra jujitsu-like selling skills. You can do it, but I don't really think it's the easiest way to do it. And I don't think it's the kind of way where if you ninja the fuck out of somebody, they're going to stick, And ultimately, what's better than a customer is a fan, right? So the easiest way to create fans and have people that will buy stuff from you forever and ever is to have this whole like attracts like thing. So we spend a lot of time in figuring out what we want in terms of doing like core influence exercises, how we're going to get there, which is like the pimp lifestyle exercise, how we're not going to be douchebags in the process. But no one ever really stops to think about the very, very critical component of who they want to attract, and that is vital. Because think about this. We were talking yesterday, like to make $18,000, let's just say $20,000 a day selling a $97 product is going to be tough. It's real easy, or it's significantly easier selling a $2,000 product. You only have to sell 10 people. It's even easier selling a $40,000 product because you only have to sell a half a person, I'm mentally half a person many times. So, you can sell me like an $80,000 product and you're set for 4 days, all right? So, and that's kind of obvious, but we don't ever think about it because there's this one little thing in our mind that says, oh, it's going to be hard to sell a, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 product or $2,000 product or whatever. And it's just like when you learn to play music, if anyone plays guitar or anything, you start playing like the guys you listen to, right? So in our world, in our little culture, what we almost all get indoctrinated into this world by is we buy an ebook or something. Right? And we see we become an affiliate for some little $19 thing, you know what I mean? And so now we think, oh, I'm just going to sell a bunch of $19 shit because that's just the way human nature is, But we don't stop and think, well, damn, I could sell something for $2,000, $3,000. Just, if not more difficult to sell the cheaper thing than it is the more expensive thing. And it sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? If you think about it, because it's like, well, shit, dude, it's only like $20. How hard is it to sell something for $20? But you need to think of the psychology of the customer. The $20 person typically has like $21 to their name. And they're like, this is probably bullshit, this is probably bullshit, this is probably bullshit, fuck it, it's gonna be bullshit, I'll just get a refund. How many people sell marketing stuff here? Okay. How many people sell like some expensive stuff and some cheap stuff combined? Okay. And this is kind of hard to do the group answer thing, but we'll try it, all right? Of the two groups of customers that you're selling to, which is the bigger pain in the ass? The cheap guys or the expensive guys? My platinum group, what were you guys paying? $2,700 a month, right? Fucking effortless. None of y'all ever fucked with me, ever. Thank you for that, we all got along. It was great. We'd hang out, and no one gave a shit if the wireless didn't work right or something. We'd laugh about it. We'd have some drinks and stuff. That's a lot of money, $2,700 every month. I've got another business called Info Millionaire. I love my Info Millionaire customers with the exception of the many of them who freak out over misspellings in a 100-something page document we sent them for the price of fucking postage, okay? It's the mindset of the customer that you're attracting, all right? So dealing with the platinum group, real easy, right? None of this fucking around, bitching. I can be like, hey, dudes, y'all should try this. It works pretty good. And then bam, Mizrahi, wherever he is, I can't see what the shit, he's asleep. His glaucoma's acting up again. It's fucking good. That glaucoma is rampant in California, and the chronic back pain and the anxiety and the insomnia. But everyone's got a good appetite. But anyway, well, don't leave any food laying around out here, especially if it's ho-hos and shit, because we will eat it, and we will play your Xbox. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. So, we'll be in a platinum meeting, and no sooner do I say, we'll try this layout, and then, Mizrahi's got 4 different concepts of the design, passing them around and shit. And then you take that type of customer and then you compare it to a $20 customer and you say, okay, let's try these types of layouts or whatever. And it's 2 weeks later and they're complaining that, you didn't buy them a web design software kit and teach them web design 101 and stuff, right? So what in the world is the point of making less money selling stuff to people who are going to be a pain in the ass. I just don't understand it. Now, and then so that would beg the question, like one would ask me, well, why would you even have a business like that? And the goal is, and Dan Kennedy taught me the concept of graduating classes. The goal is for InfoMillionaire customers, for me, is to graduate into mass control customers who graduate into private clients if I ever decide to take any, right? So that's the evolution. So if you have a big plan for it, that's the point of it. But a lot of people approach this stuff with I just want to make some money as fast as humanly possible, and we don't really give thought to how it's going to happen. So we trap ourselves into this business with these customers that drive us fucking crazy, all right? Which makes making the $20,000 a day, in your case, a little bit harder, right? If you're not attracting that absolute perfect client. So, okay. All right, so the real way to do this, we learned. Well, I did. I don't know how much old school direct mail stuff you guys studied, but you should study a lot. It's awesome. Anyway, the old direct mail guys, and this is certainly a valid thing to do, would determine exactly key characteristics, and then rent mailing lists, So I want a dude who's 52, who's married, who's got an Amex Gold card, who subscribes to Money Spender magazine, or whatever, and he's a compulsive gambler, so he'll buy my gambling system, or whatever. And that's all right, that is effective. But I think another way to approach that is to first, once you realize what you're willing to do and what you're willing to not do from yesterday, all right, is to determine, and this is easy to do because you've already agreed within your mind to only do things that's absolutely the best for your customer, is to determine who will benefit the absolute most from your stuff. And it's easy to trick ourselves in this, right? So for me, I'm very good at getting campaigns done and helping people make a lot of money. So on one side of the coin, I could say, well, the person who's going to benefit the absolute most from my stuff is the beginner who really needs to know this stuff, right? That's one answer that would come into our heads. But if you stop and really examine who you're selling to and who you want, perhaps that while that person would certainly benefit, the person who would benefit the most is the person who has a product, has a list, will do what I tell them without fucking around, and has the ability to act fast. Which one of those guys at the end of a week-long period of doing stuff with me is going to make the most money, most likely? The other guy, right? Because the new guy doesn't have anything and is still freaked out, and I got to do all this mental work on him just to get the guy to upload an opt-in page, Whereas person number two, for me personally, and I'm just doing this for comparison, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to tell you all about my business or whatever. It's just illustrative purposes. But person number two, for example, Tony, right? Classic example of the ideal person for me because the guy's got product, got a list, doesn't fuck around. There's no, should I do it? Should I do it? Let's have a meeting. Let's have a meeting about the meeting. After the meeting, let's all disagree on the meeting and then have little factions within the meeting, bicker amongst ourselves and do nothing. There's none of that shit. It's okay, do this, boom. 7 figures later, thanks, dude, no problem. Sweet, all right, let's do it again. Great. There's no messing around. So you have to figure who is most likely to benefit the absolute most from what you have to offer. And here's the deal. When you find that person, and when you do all the stuff we talked about yesterday, and you define who that person are, that person are. Yes, I just got off the crew of the Alabama ship, and I can't wait to get back on. Hopefully we get attacked again. Once you identify who that person is, there's really no struggle to convince them. All right, and let's see. I'll give you an example of this. That's helpful. And you know what, Billy? I forgot to tell you this morning. On the folder called Seminar of the little zip drive I gave you, there's a graphic called Twitter, I think, not to be confused with the one called Bathtub Photo. That one's just for you, personally. All right, since you messed up the last one somehow. I don't know that happened. So if we could put that up there. I'll diagram or sort of dissect. I know this is kind of slightly different stuff. Is this all right for y'all? Y'all follow me? Okay. Just trying to remove the barriers. You know what I mean? I want everything to be tranquilo. All right. So I'll just stand around, just waiting. Let's all stare at him back there. Oh, speaking. Okay. There's rumor that Howard Hughes Reese is coming today, okay? But this happens like every time, so, don't shoot the messenger. I think the best way to fuck with him is to give him as many of the sideways glances as possible. So here's how you do it. As Reese is over there, you're Reese, all right? And you look at him like this, and as soon as Reese looks at you, you look away. And then start walking away. And if everyone would do that, because the guy is, I think permanently on the brink of a complete psychotic snap. And I think if we all work together, we can have some entertaining shit up in here, So, I don't know. If you want to do it, I think it would be great. How many people took part in the Don Fleece shenanigans thing for him? That was fucking awesome. He went bonkers over that stuff. All right, I'll tell you all about that. Everyone else is like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'll explain it later. Let's do some money-getting stuff. All right, so this is the $100,000 tweet spree. And this is a series of 5 little tweets that were all sent over the course of 2 days. And 3 of them were sent within minutes. Okay? I can't read worth a damn anymore. So here we go. I sat around and I started thinking about who the ideal client was, right? Because I had such a particularly good experience working with Tony, because it was like, this is great. I just told them what to do. It was awesome. I didn't even really have to do anything, and they still made a lot of money, and I was like, this is great. I can tell people what to do all day. I would take 50 of these dudes. So I'm over there. I'm tweeting from the airport, miserably hungover, by the way. Where's Carruthers? Is he here? I think he started that, wherever you are, Carruthers. But anyway, I said, Dan Kennedy told me to take on private big business clients. If you have a big list and a solid product, I might be game. The other tweet was irrelevant, but I couldn't edit it out. I didn't feel like photoshopping that out of there. So then 2 days later, after getting lots of replies, I say lots of people are asking about becoming a private client. Quick rundown. 1, you must have a list of over 100,000 people. 2, you must have a solid product. I like to draw the little arrow to indicate that, it's a continuation or whatever. Where was I? 3, the fee is a $100,000 deposit plus 10% of the gross. Note, average campaign for private client yields $6.07 million in sales. And this is based on 4 private clients. Parentheses, I've only taken 4. If you're interested and meet those requirements, I'm superbadkern@gmail.com. All right? So let's talk about the conversion ratio here, okay? I have 12,000 something people that follow me. I'm not really that into Twitter. It's fun and everything, but I'm not a Twitter guy, so I don't really know how that happened, Perry does, Maria does. They're better at getting Twitter people than me. But when I send a link or something out by Twitter, I'll usually get between 500 to 600 clicks, okay? So let's just assume that means that 500 to 600 people actually give a shit at any given time, all right? So let's assume based on that, 500 people actually had any interest in that tweet, all right? That's the equivalent, in my opinion, of 500 people looking at your marketing message. Does that make sense to y'all? Yeah? Okay. Anyway, once again, I've forgotten what I was talking about. No, there was a little bit of retweet on there. But how many people do you think responded to that? That would be fucking awesome, I would be, if 500 did, I'd be like, listen, motherfuckers, take the Walker course now. Hurry up. We're all going to get super rich. 3 people responded to that within 24 hours. And that wouldn't be that impressive with the exception of, what's the fucking fee again? $100,000. And these weren't just people going, yeah, I saw your tweet, I'm new. I just joined Amway, and in case you've never heard about it, in case you haven't had enough interaction with the federal authorities, you can have another round with them. You know what I mean? Nothing against Amway. I'm not saying, the Amway's a scam. I think they're kind of really responsible for a lot of direct marketing stuff, which is great. So thank you, Amway. Thank you, Amway. I mean that, really. Where do you think most of the majority of motivational guys came from? They started at MLM. If you do your research about our world, I just learned this. There's a company called Holiday Magic in which many of the big old school guys that are in our little world used to live. in that world. And they got their skills from giving opportunity meetings for Holiday Magic. Then there was another one called Cascat, which, anyway, that's a little bit of history of our stuff, right? But $300,000 worth of business, right? Within 24 hours. And that was just me, like, as a casual aside, okay? I didn't take them all. There's one guy I'll probably take because I think working with him will be easy and fun, but we have to determine what to sell because I'm not sure I want to do what they're doing now. But anyway, that's a lot, right? So don't you think that kind of thing's easier than, like, the brute force method? So let's analyze. Put that some bitch back up there for me there, Betty. Let's analyze what that was. Essentially what I did, and this is almost like takeaway selling, okay? What I did was the first tweet, which is this, I lay out some criteria. If you have a big list and a solid product, I might be game. So that weeds out a tremendous amount of people, all right? Because it's really easy for me to, like, be very successful in mass control type stuff if the guy's got a big list and a solid product. If the guy has a solid product, it means his list is likely to be paying attention to him. His list is likely to like him. So it's really easy to sell stuff to people who, like you already. Again, which is why it was so easy to sell stuff for Tony. All right, and then I did a double qualify on day 2. I ignored the wheatgrass and acai thing. I just didn't edit it out of there. First, I said they had to have at least $100,000, okay? And we threw in the solid product again, and then I qualified myself. So there's a lot of shit going on in this little tweet thing, which I didn't really think about until I started looking about it. Then I qualified myself in case they weren't indoctrinated. This is like why you should ask me to take you on as a private client, by saying that my average private client does $6.07 million as a result of one of my little shenanigans things that I do for them, okay? And then what do we have at the end? Anyone want to guess what those two things are? Oh, well, there is that. Okay, good. I did write that down. I was like, I can't believe I didn't write that down. Good Lord, what the hell? Yeah, scarcity, exclusivity, and proof, okay? So I provided the proof. This is based on 4 private clients. So what did we talk about yesterday? Transparency and honesty. It would probably be more impressive if I said, and I've worked with a gazillion people, but the fact of the matter is I've only taken on 4 clients. So, it really makes my odds look pretty good. So I backed up the statement of $6.07 million. But just the fact of only ever having taken 4 provides that exclusivity and scarcity, all right? And then, of course, there was the call to action. So what I want to do is help you generate this type of response and this type of business. Well, no matter what it is, I think there's an ultra premium level for just about everything, everything. There is an ultra premium level, and if you're willing to do, give, become whatever it takes to provide that to people and genuinely help them, you can get paid obscene amounts of money for the same thing other people are selling in your market for like $20. And that is how you, where'd you go? Get the 20 grand a day, Because of shit, at that rate, you could take 1 client a week and you're set, And then let's not forget the 10% royalties. That stuff adds up, right? It's pretty good. Where are you, Pat? Thanks for the check. I have this thing I had the running joke. I say, if you buy my stuff and you have a really successful launch, the fine print, it doesn't really exist, but I would say, here's how I get you. I get the change from your launch, So I've now received a check from Andy. He sent me a check for like 94 cents because that was a change. And Pat, you did $80-something thousand, and what was the change you sent me? 60 cents. I got a check from Pat for 60 cents. So enough of you guys out to see if I sell this to like 40 billion people, I'm going to be rich. Yeah. See there? People don't give me credit. They don't know. So you remember the instant empathy exercise in mass control? Yeah? You guys did it? 4 of you? Are you going to go back and do it? Yes, Mr. Kern. Okay. You know what I should do is like get a little bus and just drive around and show up at your houses. Okay, let me see it. Have a little camera, get Andrew to follow me around. Where's the fucking exercise? And just berate people. God damn it, what do you think? I made this course for fun? For those of us who have not quite gotten there yet in the past 60 fucking days since you've had the course, assholes. So nice. This is my thank you note, The instant empathy exercise is very powerful. The purpose of it is to allow you to identify and immediately identify with who your average prospect is, okay? So I don't have it in front of me because I made this optimistic assumption that everybody had done it. I do that shit too. I'm just fucking with y'all, all right? But essentially what you do is you take your average prospect, right, that's in your market now, and you turn them into a person. You name that person. You decide their gender, their age, their marital status, what their big concerns are, what they do for a living, how many kids they have, and what their aspirations are. All right? And when I did this exercise, this is unbelievable. I don't know if I've ever talked about this in public. When I did the core influence presentation, I talked about the instant empathy exercise a little bit. And if you read Mass Control, you'll know that you'll see me going through mine, the core influence, right? And for the 3 people who have gotten to that, now see, someone's telling a little fib here, because a lot of you guys are like, yeah, we completed module 4, and I busted you, didn't I? But you didn't know I was going to be all fucking you up like that. I was, for the 3 people who read it, when I did it, and you got to look over my shoulder in the actual course, I was like, okay, my average person in the beginning internet marketing world is a guy named Bob. He's like 42 years old. He wears khaki pants. He's got brown leather shoes on. He wears a short sleeve button-down golf shirt. Did I say his name was Bob already? He sells insurance. He makes $60,000 a year. He is married. He hates his job, resents his boss, and his children drive him crazy. His biggest concerns is trying this stuff, looking stupid, and having his family make fun of him, and all he really wants to do right now is just make enough to quit the fucking job. And I talked about all the reasons why I'd come up with that, which is like looking at the people who were buying my stuff and actually reading the emails and paying attention to the market. And it was really neat, right? So I'm doing core influence, and this is like a month after I'd sold Mass Control last year, and this dude comes up to me, and he's like, dude, I read your instant empathy exercise thing, and guess what? My name is Bob. I'm 40-something years old. I sell insurance. And, then the guy had on the khakis and the pants. He said, the only place you got it wrong is my children don't drive me crazy. And I was just like, holy fuck, That would totally blew my mind. So it works, So people are like, well, how can you write so well to the beginning internet marketing crowd and sell the shit out of stuff? Well, that's why I did that exercise. So if you want to learn how to write to who you got really well and communicate with them really well, please do the exercise. I didn't put it in there to fill up space in the course. I really want y'all to get the benefit of the shit that I made you. Come on, man. It's easy if you just do it, okay? So now, the instant empathy exercise helps you write to who you want. But when I created the course, it didn't really dawn on me that you could get anyone you have, right? I was like, well, shit, we're writing. Did I say who you want or who you got? Instant empathy exercise helps you write to who you got now. And I didn't stop to think that you can actually choose who you got, Like if you don't like the customers you got, Dan Kennedy says, just go get new customers. And for some reason, it took like 8,000 times for him to tell me that before I was like, oh shit, you really can do that. So this is a continuation of that. And this, to me, is like the final piece of the puzzle from what we talked about yesterday until we start getting into actual tactics, all right? So in this exercise, we're going to write down a similar parallel, but for who you want, okay? Who you want. So once you determine who you really want as your customer, not just who can buy, all right? There's a difference between who can buy and who you want, all right? Like, I don't want everybody who has $2,000 on their credit card, all right? I don't want just every single person in internet marketing. I mean, I'd like their money, but you know what I mean, right? That's not really what it's all about, who you really want. Then you can attract them. So for me, my ideal person, for example, has a big business, right? Or a successful business, which also means they have a marketing budget to do things like send 20,000 pieces of direct mail to their past customers for a reactivation campaign tomorrow, all right? Because it's easy for me to win that way, all right? And this, I'm just telling you for me so you can use it as an example for your own self, all right? My ideal client has a list of prospects already exceeding 100,000 people. My ideal client will fucking email them what I tell them to email and not fuck around, right? Because I didn't sit around, like, I don't like meetings and shit. It's like, okay, do this now, make money, not do this, debate it, do half of it, make less money. That makes me look like a dumbass. I don't like looking like a dumbass. I'm good enough at that on my own. I don't need any help. Thank you very much for the offer, okay? My ideal client has not only customers, but fans, right? So this is just me, but this is just an example so you can like really write out who your ideal client is. So let's go. There are little categories that you can consider when doing this exercise. So we'll start right now. One is gender. For me, not to be sexist, but ideally, it's a man, because I can just be like, dude, shut the fuck up, and let's get to work. And I'm from the South, and I just cannot say that to a lady, you know? I mean, I would be happy with women, so I don't have like a bias in terms of performance, but I feel more comfortable being an asshole to dudes. And when it comes down to the private client level, I will fucking asshole up on somebody in a minute, because it's a lot of money, right? I mean, the pressure's on when someone gives you $100,000, and they're like, all right, dude, thanks. Okay, well, I told them, you know, you got a really vested interest, and plus there's royalties and everything. So whatever, you know. Like Forleo, like your ideal client obviously is going to be a woman, right? Because your stuff is for women. So this, again, not like from a sexist point of view. I'm crazy about the ladies, but you know what I mean. For high-paid clients, for me, it'd be better as a dude. All right, so second is income. Not only do they have to be able to afford your stuff, but ideally be able to buy it in a sense that, you know, it's not the last thing they got. So for me, anyway, since I'm selling money-making stuff, someone spends their last dime with me, well, how are they going to set up a Google campaign, run ads, do direct mail and stuff or whatever? It's like, well, shit, you know. Now I've got this customer who's like, yeah, I got Kern stuff, it didn't really work. You know, well, it didn't work because he couldn't do it, because he didn't have the income to move forward. All right, so profession. Do we have, all of these markers are about dead. Do we have any good ones? Profession now has 2 Fs, by the way. I don't know if y'all saw the article in USA Today, but it's in there. So I did that on purpose, okay? Views about your type of stuff. And that can mean you guys share like the same philosophy. All right, so I could have like a guy with a very successful business who has a tremendous amount of money to invest in furthering the marketing campaigns of that business. He's in the information publishing business, which is my ideal person because that's what I've always sold. It's just the easiest for me, right? And then we can get here and he could be like, yeah, you know, I really like this, and what we want to do is we're going to fill people up in seminar rooms and sell them biz ops and hammer those fuckers. And see, that would ruin it for me. Because it's like, I'm not going to do that because I know these guys, like half the, you know, biz op, low-end seminar people are going to buy this shit and do nothing and get excited with promises, and then they're not going to do anything and everyone looks like a douche, right? So that would kill it for me. See, this is important. And then another person who like hated direct response and only wanted to use image advertising or something, well, that's a contradicting view about my type of stuff, isn't it? So you got to have the right thing there, okay? What qualities are a must for them? We've got a dead pin. Any marker connections going on? Where'd the orange one go? You just carry these around? Fucking A, man. That's all right. Anyone else got anything cool? Let's see. Does anyone have any gold bullion in here? Don't throw it. Okay. Just deliver it by hand. Okay, so 5. That's just, dude, all right. Let's kill her. Okay. All right, so what qualities are a must? Okay, for me, a must is speed of implementation. All right? 2 reasons. One, if they don't do what I tell them, like now, they're not going to make money fast, and we're not going to get big results, and they're going to fuck up my track record. Okay? 2, if they don't do stuff now, I will have forgotten what it was I told them to do within 2 days, and then we'll have to start all over, and it'll be like Groundhog Day. All right? So Thank you, Dr. Moffat. And then you might want to make a list of things that instantly disqualify them. Alrighty? So, and those are just some of the stuff that will meet, that will make up your ideal client that you, or customer that you want to attract. Now, when you have this, now you're able to go and look at, okay, well, who has my ideal client? How can I get their clients to become my clients? And we'll talk about that and tactics in a little while. So, what the hell was I going to do next? Oh, yes. Let's read some of these things. Yeah? So who's got something good? You, sir, in the blue. Here. You look like the kind of fellow who would have horn on the Viking, or fur on the Viking helmet horns. Yes. Of course. That looks good on you. Yeah.
Gender for me is male, income 100,000 plus, profession, an executive, or maybe what came to me better was maybe a business owner, someone's that got the freedom. Like, could even be like an MLMer that's got someone that got their own business. Views about my stuff, they love it. They're learners as opposed to knowers. They read books like they read business books, good to great. They've read good to great. What qualities are a must? Again, learner, they've got the money, sense of humor, freedom to choose, like they've got their own destiny. They don't have to go to somebody and get permission. And preferably sports, a real sports interest.
Why?
Because I do.
Okay.
And my stuff, it's a leadership development program that my background is sports psychology. I coach executives in their work teams and business owners.
Okay.
And I just bring in a lot of the baseball stuff. For me, that's just what the guys that I like to talk to, my ideal clients, we talk about baseball and relate it to what they're doing.
So if you were to try to attract that ideal client in a tiny little classified ad, you remember that, those commercials? If you were to try to attract that guy, in what we're talking about here is placing ads attracting guys. Just saying. And we're wearing nothing weird about a couple of dudes in Viking helmets talking about placing little ads trying to attract guys. Sweaty guys who play baseball. Nothing weird about that at all. So get your minds out of the gutter. It's fucking Sunday, for God's sake.
Just trying to get to first base with him.
Yeah. Not in Australia. All right? So I'm right and you're wrong. So what would we say? How would we get that guy? So for example, my ad would be wanted. Successful entrepreneur, must have 100,000 prospects or customers, must have solid products, preferably information publisher, fee $100,000 plus royalties if interested, respond to. And of course that's not really the best classified ad, so we're not really trying to get salesman hooks, so we're just trying to have a good, solid definition of who we want. So what would yours say?
Well, I would say wanted, male, successful male, sports. well endowed. I have a big endowment. That's what I mean.
Okay, they're fucking us up. Thanks a lot, man. We're trying to get something done here. We're trying to take this seriously.
Successful male, business person, former athlete.
I'm sorry, dude. It's them now.
I know.
Yeah.
I didn't think that would get a laugh.
It's the reefer. I'll tell you right now, it is for me.
Gotcha. Is winning but doesn't feel like it. It's like you're successful, but you want more. There's like that, because to me they're like, I got up to the top of the ladder and I should feel great, but I don't quite feel great. I want to produce better results with less effort. Wants to produce better results with less effort.
That's what I'm talking about.
Just like your golf swings. I don't care. It's just like, hey, is your best drive where you muscle up and come out of your shoes, or is it where it feels almost effortless? Well, it's where it feels almost effortless. Well, let's bring that into the workplace.
Okay.
And look for help you produce better results with less effort.
Got it. Okay, so a top level, to use the sports thing. So are we going after sports people or executive people?
Well, executive people.
Okay.
It's not. It's a personal development is the niche.
Got it.
And so it's business people. They're not athletes now. That's a whole nother thing. I do that too, but this is focused on the executives.
Okay.
Or business owners.
So highly successful executive who's already at the top, but knows he can do better and wants to do better starting now.
Right.
That a better thing?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. See, so that will definitely keep you from developing like a $97 ebook or something,
Right.
because now you got the guy who's like, yeah, sure, I'll pay you $10,000 a week, fuck it. I'm making like $10 million a year, and I just want to get a little bit better so I can be a lot cooler than fucking Bob down the hall who's got a cooler office or whatever. Which, isn't it true, when you get to that level, that's like a huge deal for some of those guys, which is great.
Right.
You know?
And they'll pay you a lot of money just to beat their buddies in a foursome.
Exactly. Okay, so now we've got, just to make it clear, we're talking about attracting muscular, sweaty men in classified ads who want to beat their buddies in a foursome.
Now that wasn't them.
We can really turn anything dirty. Let's try to figure out how we can make everything dirty, because that's where the money is. I think it might be, actually, so, you know. All right, good. Excellent. Well done. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, we need to amend the exercise, which means we get to listen to more degenerate music. Let's amend this now, not change the exercise, actually, amend it. Yeah, that is the definition of amend, or else I would have said change. I'm really on my game today, I'll tell you what. New exercise is to write the classified ad. We don't have to write it from, like, in terms of a sales hook, so there's no need to, like, be clever or whatever. Just, you know, as if you were writing a basic classified ad without trying to be all ninja. So the quick, short, elevator description of exactly who it is you want, as if you were writing a classified ad. So mine would be, again, wanted, successful information marketer, must have 100,000 plus prospects, good product, $100,000 deposit, 10,000 or 10% royalties, or $10,000 a day royalties. Really, I'd prefer the latter. Or you just give me free money, whatever. You know, so, okay, now let's try that again. Okay? Now who wants to read their tiny little classified ad? All right, we'll just have a dude this time. Okay? You, sir, in the blue. What's the Wormhole Republic?
It's the gateway to everywhere else.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah. Just making sure you knew.
Right.
Good job on that. Passed another test.
All
What's
right,
the capital of
I've got
Peru? Yeah.
right.
Lima.
So my classified, I've got the self-qualifying question and then the benefit stuff. So it goes, selling multiple products online using one shopping cart. Give your customers a chance to buy more after their initial purchase, all with just a single click. So if the characteristics that they have are all in that first question, because I want people, they're online, they're already selling multiple products, and they're using a compatible shopping cart with what I'm putting together. In this case, is one shopping cart. And the product is a one-click upsell, so then people buy, they can click the button again, and they can buy more stuff.
We can make that better. That was good. We can make it better.
All right, let's do that.
Yes, we can. Put your hands at home. Put your hands on the television set right now. Close your eyes. All right. Who can you most help? Who will benefit the most? See, I already know the answer to this question.
The most?
The most. Let's think logic here.
People who are, I think I'm targeting too small of people. People who...
And if you're going to do a lot of one-click upsells, who's going to make the most money by doing one-click upsells? What are they going to be doing? Having a lot of what?
A lot of sales?
A lot of customers.
Okay.
So the ad should say, if you process between X and X orders a month through one shopping cart, see, because a guy could be selling 400 products through one shopping cart, but he might not be selling shit. He could have them all for sale.
Perfect.
See, yeah. So now, if you're processing, between how many? Like, what's the ideal guy? So who's going to be just the right amount of transactions a month to where it's like he's not going to have a high probability of blowing up your shit.
Yeah.
You know, because I've done that twice now with someone whose name rhymes with Infusionsoft.
Actually, I worked on that Infusionsoft stuff for you for mass control and info millionaires.
Yeah.
So that's like where we've branched that into a part
Oh,
for
you
one
work with
shopping cart.
Mike?
Yeah, I work with Mike. We did the.
See, I give y'all money.
Yeah.
Damn
so
it.
I believe you
You're
love
the
my
smartest
nuts.
guy here.
I believe you love my nuts. So that's
I'm
pretty
paying you
rad.
to give you advice. You need more guys like me.
Yeah, that's really who we need. But
This
I'm
is the
trying to-
Magnum. Okay, this is the. It actually says Magnum on it. See, now I feel secure. Thank you, Royster. I don't know why it's greasy, but whatever. It's a little weird, Sean. It's not, you know, what do you listen to CDs before you give them as presents too or something? What the hell? All right, so the only way I'd really amend that is to define, and probably the type of business as well. You know, so is there a particular type of business that would lend itself better to your stuff, meaning that they would profit more?
Info marketing would work well because anything. It's just there's no real fulfillment cost. It's like they buy the upsell. It's just you send them an email with the stuff they just bought in it. So it's very easy to get them their stuff and real quick. And
how can people buy your stuff? Because your shit rules. I've used these guys and they are fucking gangster. So how can people buy your stuff?
We got a site, oneclickupsell.com is for the one that we used for Frank was for Infusionsoft. And if you go to one-click upsell, we got a little description of all that. And then Upsell Mastery is our new one that we're putting together for one shopping cart for people who, they're selling products and want to offer one-click upsells. And because Infusionsoft's a real expensive system, and then one shopping cart's sort of the beginner, like getting started thing. So we're trying to get
trying to blow their shit up too. Yeah, let's break them as well.
Yeah, so try to get as many people as possible to be able to use our stuff. So
awesome. Okay,
upsellmastery.com.
That's how. Do you understand the logic and why we amended that a little bit to define who you would help the most? And of course, that person is going to be like, "Damn, I could totally use that." Right? So now you got this perfect match. All right. So great. And by the way, again, if you are someone who does lots of transactions, so if you're like doing force continuity stuff, like a lot of us have done, like I did with InfoMillionaire or whatever, or the mass control giveaway, and you want to bolt on some one-click upsell stuff on your back end, these are the guys. It is gangster as hell.
Come
and
talk
you don't
to me.
have to do anything except draw little pictures, and then they just make it work. So you go like this. You go like, okay, thing, and then I wanted to do this, and then I wanted to go here, and then they just go, and money comes in.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Multiple upsells. It's really cool stuff.
It's really good. Okay, good work on that.
And
no surprise, really.
Can I have an egg?
No, you can't have an egg.
Can my girlfriend have an egg?
Oh, no, she can't have an egg either.
Dude.
No, I've already given that. Only worked for one person. No. It only worked for one person. I gave you enough money already, you fucker. Good Lord. I was happy to do it, though. I was. Those guys are good people. Can't recommend them enough. All right. So who else has? Who else would like to be berated by me? Someone from the front now. You, sir, in the stripes. Okay, Dan, you can have an egg, but it's going to be a crappy one. This one's cracked. All right, here, you can have an egg. And this makes however, we're getting close to, I guess we're not getting close to six figures. I've given those guys a lot of money, though, and it was worth double, but don't tell them that because they'll raise their fees. So?
Okay, thanks, Frank. I help 250K plus a year marketing and sales leaders launch $1 million product ideas on the internet. Interested? Call, and my phone number.
Okay, so would you read that again for me?
Okay.
All right.
I help 250K plus per year marketing and sales leaders launch $1 million product ideas on the internet. Interested? Call, and my number.
Marketing and sales what?
Leaders.
Leaders, okay. That when I was talking about the playing so loud my pants moved and shit, that's real. Like my hearing is shot, as is my vision. Unfortunately, it seems to be getting worse, which sucks. All right, so $250,000 to how much?
Plus.
Plus?
250K plus.
Marketing and sales leaders. Mm-hmm. Leaders, okay.
Basically, it's pretty in my philosophy, it's pretty easy to make $100,000, $120,000 a year.
Right.
Making $250,000 a year is the beginning of the next level.
Okay.
So I want guys that are beyond the employee mentality. they're leaders. They've figured out how to get past what one person can do.
Okay.
They pretty much run a team once they're earning that kind of money.
What industry are they in?
They're in sales and marketing.
But what of what? Like, I mean, they don't have to be, but who do you want? See, this is all about who you want, right? Not who you got, but ideal, who you really want.
Okay. Probably people in the human potential development industry.
So
Guys
self-help
like
guys?
success coaches, health coaches,
Okay.
mindset coach type people.
Mindset. So, all right. So now what we could really say is you want, like it would maybe say something, attention elite success coaches.
Well, to shortcut it, I'm webmaster for a radio show, and the kind of people that come on the radio show are guys like Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, those sort of people. And so I want to be the catalyst to help those guys get onto the internet. They've got large lists.
That would be an example of doing right action, because those guys are awesome.
Yeah,
So,
and I've got
yeah.
access to them on a daily basis. They're publicists, blah, blah, blah. They're already doing business with
Tell
us.
them I said they were awesome. Specifically Wayne Dyer. I really like that. Don't you guys like that guy, Wayne Dyer? He's a hell of a guy. I've never met him, but
He's awesome.
I like
He's
that
a
guy.
real person.
yeah, he seems like he would be cool. So how would we describe them? Like, the first thing that comes to me is like absolute elite of the human potential movement. But is that the correct terminology?
I use the word leaders. I need something more powerful than that.
Well, leaders.
Thought leaders.
People would be like, well, you know, say, well, I'm a leader, or will be. You know, I've got a book in my basement. You know what I mean? So if we're really just targeting them,
Well, should I say somebody that's
successful
published at least 20
authors.
books? Published 20 books. Published author, yeah.
Yeah, successful published author.
Okay.
Would that be a better definition?
Sure.
Successful published author. And you want to throw the income in there? Is that appropriate for that industry, do you think? I don't really know. I think so, yeah?
Yeah,
Wanted, very successful published author, ready to something? What are you thinking, guys? Thank you. I don't know what it is with me today. The obvious seems to evade me. Best-selling authors in human potential movement. That's who you want to attract, right?
yes.
Okay. So really, you could just be like, wanted, best-selling authors in human potential movement, because we're not really talking about in this ad what you're giving them. We just want to get them, right? So I mean, the ad could just be wanted blank, right? We're not even talking about selling to them yet, but that's who you're after.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, that's good. See, now you know. Now there's no need to like sell anything to people who want to become best-selling authors, all right? They only want the ones who are already there. All right, cool. That was easier. With the help of whoever yelled out the completely obvious thing I was overlooking. Thank you for that, by the way. All right, excellent.
Thank you,
Well
Frank.
done. Okay, we have 24 minutes. I was supposed to deliver this to you yesterday, and I don't have time to talk about the tactics and stuff because it'll be one of those start-stop things and it'll get all confusing. So what would be the best use of our time besides coming up with dirty jokes and stuff?
Road trip. Hey.
We want to take a road trip. Where y'all want to go? Let's walk downstairs and back, and then we'll be done, you know? You know what we should do is like organize one of those like weird things, you know? Like we could go to, I don't know, just pick one person that works at the Hard Rock and just surround them and be like, just fucking stare at them, you know? I'm trying to delay whatever insidious attack Dr. Mike has planned against me.
Well, it's going to have to happen then right now.
Oh, great. All
So-
right. I've got it coming, so, yeah.
Why don't you have a seat right here,
Oh,
Frank?
good Lord, this is an intervention. Here we go.
Let's bring up Jeff Walker. He's got a little launch he'd like to get going here. Jeff Walker, everybody. Sit right here with you, because this is going to be good.
Thanks, folks. Can we cue that PowerPoint? Oh, wait, I'm using PowerPoint version Kern point. Oh.
I just want you to know I've always been very nice to you, JW. I mean, you know, listen, before we get started with this, you know, just whatever happened to Mike Long?
So you folks have all been wondering, I know, the biggest thing is when is Frank going to try to sell some shit, right? That's been the big question. Well, and Frank always wants to turn his stuff into, you know, obviously he's all about infotainment. He's had us laughing this entire time. And he also likes to sneak in some teaching in there as well. So what we thought we'd do is we'd bring you inside a big product launch. I know, you often hear these stories about these product launches. You wonder what's going on inside, behind the scenes. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on behind them. There's JV partners are involved. And you've heard about lots of different types of launches. The 4-day cash machine. I've taught about seed launches.
I thought that was a good way. You see the 5-day cash machine.
That stuff. So, but like the one we haven't talked about, well, Hollywood the entertainment industry gets a lot of this stuff, and they do pretty well. But the one thing that they never really seem to bring into it is the shock and awe. Now, the shock and awe, that's a term that Frank came up with, was the shock and awe. And so, like, if you look at the way, say, like Britney does a launch, or Paris Hilton does a launch, they do it really good, but they don't really have the shock and awe. So now to give you the real details on the shock and awe, we have Dr. Mike.
Oh, man.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Mike Wubing.
I just want you to know I donated money to his child's school, just for the record.
I've been a long-time friend of Frank Kern, long time. When he moved to San Diego, I actually helped him find his house. And I've personally made millions of dollars based upon his teachings from Frank. And you may have, if you don't know me, you may have seen me on some of his videos. Anybody was here last year? The Dr. Mike masks? You guys know about the Dr. Mike masks?
I think it helped a lot of people.
It's helped a lot of people. Yeah. And despite that, despite everything he's done for me, I never really had a chance to, there's the mask right there, there you go. I never had the chance to pay back through all the, everything he's given for me, from the masks to insulting me and the racial stuff. I'm his only non-white friend. I'm just going to let you know that. I'm his only non-white friend.
No, there's mofo.
But, I've let things go. I've let things go on. And again, I love you, Frank.
But?
I love you. And did you know that Frank is actually coming up with a new product? Do you guys know about this? Do you guys want to be on the ground floor? Can we announce his new product that's coming out here today? You guys want to know about it? You guys want to see it? I've actually brought a few of my friends who've also made hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars with Frank Kern. Can you guys come up here? Let's give him a round of applause. We've got Harris Feldman, Ross Goldberg, Eric Rockefeller, Tom Beal, Brian Johnson. We've got Keith Woolman, John Walker. We've got Troy, Sean Casey. You guys seen a lot of their stuff. And what we're going to do is, as Jeff mentioned, you guys have seen Paris Hilton, right?
Oh, God.
She's now a multi-million-dollar, and let's face it, she has like no talent whatsoever. So Frank thought of the idea, if somehow he could expose himself, if somehow he could be more transparent, if somehow he could reach the masses the right way, now he's going into another income stream, just make millions and not billions of dollars. So if you guys are ready to announce the site. You guys all ready to announce the site? Yeah. Okay, let's take off the shirts, guys. Can we focus on this? FrankKernSextape.com.
That's the shortest film in history.
FrankKernSextape.com. It's 8+ hours of footage.
That's a hell of a
It
thing.
stars Frank Kern and no one else. You guys can check it right now. It is a live site. We're not going to show it because this is a... no, we're not going to show it. No one else. Actually, I think there is one other person. JMO is in there giving a hand. 2 boys, 1 surfboard. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, you guys, I want you guys to Twitter this, put it on your MySpace page, Facebook. We're looking for joint venture partners. Anything we can do. It is going to be it's not a forced continuity. It's a consensual continuity product. But It's going to be coming out very, very soon. Coming out very, very soon. You can go check it out. You guys going to help us promote the site? All right. Awesome. Frank?
Should we move him up front?
Frank? This is for you, buddy.
I'll stand, fellas.
This is for you.
No, you want to sit.
Okay.
Where's the male stripper? It's only a matter of time. All right.
Just leave the driving to Dr. Mike.
Okay.
For Frank's best, you guys see the shirts? You guys in the front, you guys got your own shirts out there. Frank Kern, can you put them up? Can we get some tape of this? Because I want to make sure that people really know where to go to see this website. FrankKernSextape.com.
The scariest thing is you can't even see it yet.
Oh my God. All right. Well.
Okay. Well, what do you guys think? Okay. Good. All right. Okay. That's all I got.
I just want you to know that I would stand up and fight with you, but I have an erection, and I don't want to embarrass myself, so I'm just going to wait till it goes away.
See, the good news is you actually are speechless.
Yeah, that was all right. Well, you fucking got me, you know. This is my karma. What's on the website? Yeah. All right. Great. I didn't sign a waiver that day, so I'm suing. Well, we got 9 minutes. Is there any other smut acts you'd like to do? Yes, I would love to see my website. Well, all right. Control this huge mass. Thank you for the optimism on that thing. Can we put it up on the site or on the screen there? Do you have $7? Do you have 3 minutes? Do you like sex tapes? Then, friends, have I got a treat for you? Come on down to FrankKernSextape.com. We got T-shirts with penises on them.
There it is.
Sale.
There it is, Frank.
All right, let's scroll down here for the thing, and we'll see. So that, yeah. Well, that was before the amphetamines. So, that's awesome. That's beautiful. That is really nice. That is fucking great. Look at that. Look at the gun. Look at the gun. That's what makes it. That gives a whole new meaning to the word love gun, you know. Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, buddy. What is it? Back end is optional. It's not optional. Okay, it's not. I'm going to save that one for personal use. But wait, there's more. That's all right. That was it. That was good. Well, 1 point, I think that's worth like 7 points. I think, Mike, you're winning now, you know? Oh, no, I was going to sell this thing.
Can I get an egg for showing it to you?
Yeah, you can get it. All right, are you ready? Are you sure you don't want the pink one? I hear the pink ones are good.
Sure.
Yeah. See there, that was my NLP in action. Yeah, well done. Okay, so coming up now, we have my main man, Easy E, Ed Dale. Any of you guys have the underachiever method?
Oh, yeah.
Did you get it? That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it didn't work for Randy. Sorry about that. God, man, you were like our poster child for that thing. You really crushed it, you know? You did underachiever, serializer, mass control. Just now, you could just give me random, it'd be random cash. That was fun. You know, Ed above everything, is a very good friend of mine and a very good man. I've never met anyone who does not like Ed Dale, and that's for a reason. If you're new to Ed, you're about to find out why. So please give a warm welcome all the way from Melbourne, Australia. I would say one of the most beautiful places on earth, Australia. What a wonderful country. Thank you all from Australia who are here. I feel a little kinsmanship with y'all. I don't know why I have such a connection to that place, but I sure do love it down there. So all the way from Melbourne, Australia, the home of Genovese coffee. Yes, the man with the Tim Tams, Easy E, Ed Dale.